if they would have started him after the New Orleans game, they'd be 6-6 because they don't lose.
Which some of us, by the way, were calling for. Some of us are like, you benched him a couple of games in a row.
Right.
It's time to go to the backup. That'd be a normal thing to do.
Because they got the doors blown off of them, Dallas and then New Orleans. You beat the Giants. You beat Washington. Sorry, Mego, I know that's your squad. But you beat Washington. You beat the Chargers because now Zappe has more time with that offense, and that's the biggest thing.
So the Chargers are a win now.
That your Chargers would be a win.
I like where you're going. Chargers are a win.
Chargers
now.
would be a win because that would have been week 4 for him playing.
It's a very optimistic timeline.
Yeah, he'd be comfortable.
It's comfort level, and Arcand, in sports, it's about comfort. In anything you do, you get on the radio your first time, you're not comfortable. Then you get in there about 6-7 weeks in, it's a comfort level. And that's why.
What about a hostile work environment where you're uncomfortable every day with your co-host?
Well, see, that what you got to do.
I got news. It's only getting more hostile if Zappe keeps playing well.
What you got to do, Mego, is you got to do like Chris Rock said. You got to flip that ish. You got to flip it and turn it around. You ever?
I'm more like Mac on the sideline doing breathing exercises.
If you ask Wiggy about pebbles, he'll talk to you about hostile work environment.
Have you ever seen? Well, that's the different. You got to be wary for snakes, right? Have you ever seen the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
No.
And when he comes in, he says you got to flip that. So what you need to do is you got to flip it on him and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got to make me uncomfortable.
That's very hard to do.
I don't know where we are, but
it's not easy to do. But so the Patriots would be a playoff team with Zappe.
They would be a team, in my opinion, that would be 6-6 because the thing, it's not like Zappe's got more skill than Mac. In sports, it's about the guy.
But he does some things better.
Right, he does, but it's about the guy who buys in more. It's about the guy who the coaches believe is coachable, is going to take what they tell him, is going to do the things they ask to do. Where when you look at Zappe, I think that's the biggest thing with him. He's just not. He's going to go out there and whatever the coaches tell him to do, he ain't going to fight it, and he's going to do it. But I don't know about Mac.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were done there, Wiggy. There was a moment where they were walking off the field after the win, and Bailey Zappe goes over to Bill O'Brien and is kind of hugging on him. And Bill O'Brien was laughing and shaking his head in disbelief. And I really think that is a moment where you see Bill O'Brien seems like he was hesitant to give Zappe a real shot. And so I wonder what was happening in practice. Our good friend Brian Barrett, who used to be with us, tweeted out, "Show us the practice tape." How bad was Bailey Zappe in practice?
Show us the tapes.
How bad was Bailey Zappe in practice? Because the way that Bill O'Brien reacted in that moment was like, I don't know what this kid's got, but it worked.
Right. But I believe they got to that point.
But my question is, on the same point, Mego, is who was the one? Is it just Kraft? Ken's been on that Kraft wanted Mac to play. Mac's the guy. Because when you hear Billy O'Brien today and you hear Bill Belichick and even their body language as you described, they all seem to feel like this piano's been lifted off their back.
Well, yeah, because they just won.
No, but I mean, just
and
the way
put together 3 touchdowns in the first half, which is something that they haven't done since 2018.
But even last week, what did Bill say?
That was when Tom Brady was here and they won a Super Bowl, by the way. That's what Zappe did.
It's not a roller coaster. That's what Bill said when they got shut out by the Chargers. This week, it's no highs and lows. Billy O'Brien said it's just play to play. He doesn't take things personal. He moves on to the next situation. All of the things that seemed to be the necessary component this team was lacking, and there were so many plays, whether it was the interception in the red zone against the Raiders, whether it was the horrible interceptions against the Cowboys in that pathetic game, whether it was the interception against the Giants, all these
Colts.
That throw to Gesicki, the worst throw in the history of professional football. And he kept getting more opportunities when it's clear that the personal side, nobody seems to like him. So why did he get all of these opportunities to the point where no matter what Zappe does, the season's over?
Because I think at the beginning they didn't really have the confidence in Zappe. I think Kraft was like, well, we got to give this kid a chance. Billy O and Bill were like, all right, well, we have no better option, so our arms are kind of being twisted here. They gave him the opportunity, but I think here's what happened. It's like anything else. Sooner or later, you get tired of the resting bitch face. Or you get tired of looking at that person where every day they look like they sat on, a goddamn sharp knife in their ass because they always have this face like everything is waving hands, crying little baby.
You could say a pebble in your shoe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I almost swore, but really, you get tired of that, right? So you get tired of that, and I think they get tired of that as coaches and going, he's waving off Gesicki, who's running a route that he feels like is wrong. Right. He gets sacked, he's getting up and he's grabbing his helmet.
Well, and I'm sure some of it, too, is like they're sick and tired of being on ESPN every day, being like, this team is a clown show.
Right.
And Robert Kraft doesn't know what he's doing, and Bill doesn't know what he's doing, and Max, they're tired of it.
Yeah, it's cute you think they're on ESPN every day.
But they would have been on today if they lost to the Steelers, and all they'd be talking about is like what they're doing with Tomlin today. We're like, Tomlin should be fired, and Pittsburgh's a mess, and they're 7-6. So, like, they'd be ripping the Patriots and move on from Bill, and Kraft has lost it and all these things, and I think they got tired of that. So to answer your question, Chris, I think Robert wanted Mac to start. Maybe he was getting intel from Bill O'Brien. Maybe Bill O'Brien was on board, too, because I don't feel like Bill O'Brien liked Bailey Zappe. Maybe it changed last night off the field.
They would have cut him. If they liked him, they would have never cut him at the beginning of the year.
I think Bill would have traded Mac to go to Zappe in the offseason.
I
think if it were up to Bill would have benched Mac's ass and gone to Zappe.
I don't agree with that. I think that Bill was tired of the antics and all those things, but I still think Bill knew that Zappe wasn't, and Mego, you bring up a good point. Zappe wasn't doing enough in practice, because if he was, they would have never released him. So clearly he's not doing enough in practice to show them, like, okay, you can push Mac. And they're like, well, we got no option. And then they got tired. They got tired of, like I said, they got tired of the bitch fits all the time. And that's when they get to the point and they go, you know what? We might as well give this kid a chance. With 2-10, how worse can he be?
I just want to plug my new fashion blog. It's called Bitch Fits.
There you go. Look at a little podcast
Check
right
that
there.
out. The Mego blog on the Odyssey app
Bitch Fits.
is
I'll
now
be showing off
Bitch Fits.
all of my shoes, my jackets.
I like
Don't you think, though, on the way the Patriots move forward here, that there was a part of Belichick that used Mac as a shield?
100%.
And so now you're sitting there 2-10, 3-10. And Wiggy's saying they're a playoff team with Bailey Zappe. And at the end of the year, when Robert Kraft's like, what do we do next year? We're going to make a change. Bill Belichick says, see what I could do with Bailey Zappe. If you would just listen to me, we wouldn't be in this position. Give me another year. We'll turn this around.
So let's get into that, because I wonder if anything did change last night with Bill Belichick, with Bailey Zappe and his future here. Certainly nothing changed for Mac. 617-779-7937. That's how you get in touch today with America's broadcast. First hour, Jones, Mego, Curtis, Wiggy, Arcand. We're going to have Fourier on. We're going to have Keefe on. I believe Fitzy's going to be here at one point today. So stay tuned as we're live at the Hart Patriot Place here at Gillette Stadium in preparation for Army and Navy tomorrow.